he may go on to a rant, and we have a guest tonight. So let's get to that. Anyway, we have with us, like I said, John Camerath. John, tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, like Josh said, I'm chairman of the Clark County Independent American Party. The executive committee asked me to take that job a couple of years ago. I thought about it for a few months and finally decided to say yes.
I'm curious how, when the question was posed to you, did you feel like it was being asked to you or you were being railroaded?
Well, by the Hansens? No, that would never happen.
We all know that we're very reasonable people around here.
Of course. But I was strongly requested to take that job. But nevertheless, I thought about it for a few months, and I decided to accept because the situation that we are in our country today and in the state of Nevada is that we are becoming more and more enslaved to the state and to the government. They don't really care about taking away our constitutional rights, our freedoms, and enslaving us with higher taxes and bigger government. And it actually never mattered what you would do to fight against that. I would lobby my respective legislators, whether in Congress or the state legislature or county commission, and it never had an effect. Government always got bigger and more intrusive and more socialist and with higher taxes, no matter how I felt. That's really how I found the Independent American Party. I said, well, it doesn't matter which party's in power, the whole government goes the same direction.
So nothing changed, and you decided that you felt that Einstein's wisdom was what you should follow. You know, if you keep doing the same thing and expecting different results, that's insanity.
Right. By the time I was in my late 30s, that's when I started realizing that Einstein was right about that, of course. And I wasn't going to keep doing the same thing anymore. I decided to try and find a political party that was closest to the thinking of our founding fathers as far as how government should operate.
Now I'm curious. Actually, I'm curious. Why did you go looking for a political party instead of saying a lot of people I know just go not well? The Republicans and Democrats are insane. I'm just not doing this junk anymore. I'm nonpartisan.
Yeah, apathy. Well, nonpartisan. Yeah, I actually did that for a little while, and then I realized that's kind of silly too because I actually believe in things. I believe in certain stances on the issues, and if you're nonpartisan, that to me that really means you don't believe in anything, or if you do, you're the only one that does. And how can you accomplish anything?
How can you? So pragmatically, I mean, nonpartisans may be fine, idealistically speaking, but the reality is you found that without being active in a party, nothing was going to happen.
Yeah, they're not going to get anything done. And I can understand people being frustrated with their respective major party, whether it's the Democrat Party, the Republican Party, and wanting to become nonpartisan, but what can you get done? Nothing. And your life will go by, and you will have more freedom taken away from you. You'll have more of your money taken away from you, and your birthright will be taken away from you. So.
All right, I've been cutting you off all night tonight for some reason, so you're up now.
One of the reasons that you ended up finding the Independent American Party, a lot of people feel like, well, I'm not going to run for office. It doesn't make any difference. I'll never have a chance to win. But the reason why you found the Independent American Party was because of the list of candidates that you got to see when you went to mark your own ballot, wasn't it?
That's true. Several of my friends would get together every election. We'd take our sample ballots, and we would discuss the issues and the candidates.
I want to point out right now that when I said John was a regular guy, you hear even this much political activity. I exaggerate a little bit, but anyway, go ahead.
Well, my friends and I, we would think, you know, if we are united, we have a stronger voice. And so if we all think the same, let's get together and see the best way to vote. And we would, 4 or 5 of us would meet at one of our friends' houses, and we'd talk about candidates and see what each candidate had to say on their sample ballot related to their platforms and the things that they stood for and the reasons why they were running for office.
Which is, by the way, actually, folks, if you're going to go and vote, this is a good idea. You shouldn't say, oh, that guy is really handsome, or, man, that girl has great legs and she's running for judge.
And also, it's dangerous to presume you know everything about the individual candidates. There have been, let's just say, very few occasions, because it would be horrible for me to admit having any incorrect presumptions about anything. But there have been a few occasions where in discussions I know I'm voting for that guy because, I've heard this, this, and that, and then one of my friends or family go, he did such and such a thing, and I'm, ooh.
Well, it's like you used to like Scalia, and then you gave him Jackass the Week.
That's right, I used to like Anton Scalia. I'm like, man, that's a great guy. That's our best judge.
And then you went,
No,
wait a minute,
never
you did
mind.
this. This is really
he
bad.
wins my favorite award this week. I can't stand the guy. Anyway.
There's a lot of things I like about Scalia. I'm sure you do too.
There's.
Let me note. He did vote in favor of this states' rights case for Texas. So
there he gets the brownie point.
What can I say?
Yeah.
So when we noticed that the Independent American Party was running about as the same number of candidates as the Democrats and the Republicans, we paid more particular attention to them. And upon reading what their candidates had to say, we're like, these are the things that we believe in. Cutting taxes, not just a promise to not increase taxes, because taxes are too high right now. Let's cut taxes. But Republicans and Democrats never talk about that. They talk about growing taxes a little bit or not increasing them at all. I want a reduction in taxes. There was a time when there was no sales tax, and now it's 7 to 7.75%, depending on where you live. I want that to go down, but the reality is if the Republicans and Democrats stay in power, that will continue to go up.
The
We need another
the
fire
best
station.
case scenario we can hope for is actually that it will just stay there. That's
Right,
the absolute
right.
with what we currently. It's not going to go down. The best case scenario in a world where fairies deliver pots of gold to your door, you only get like status quo.
So you decided that you were going to run for office, and you ran against the number one most conservative. I'm going to reduce taxes kind of a guy that the Republicans have put up for an office for years. His name was Garn Mabey. Is that correct?
Yeah, right. Good guy.
And you tried to get him to promise that he would cut taxes, and what happened?
Well, that's an interesting story right there. I ran for state assembly 2 years ago, and I was a candidate for him. And there's a Democrat and running also, and the incumbent Garn Mabey. And the moderator asked us to talk a little bit about ourselves and explain why we were qualified to run for office. And so, like I said, the Democrat was an attorney, and
Which that's like 2 strikes right there.
you make a good point. And the Republican Garn, good guy, like I say, a doctor. And when he took the mic, he said, well, when you have an advanced degree, that really helps qualify you to hold elected office. And so when the mic came to me, now I'm a nurse, a licensed practical nurse. I'm not even a registered nurse, but I'm proud of being a nurse and I enjoy my profession, but I don't have an advanced degree. And so it was, to me, it was a little bit of a dig to say that. When I took the mic, I said, you know, I don't have an advanced degree, you're right. And so what I'd like to do is challenge you guys here right now to say these 2 words, tax cut. Will you say those words? They wouldn't say them. I'll say them.
Well, you didn't. They had an advanced degree. If you have an advanced degree, you really can't say tax cut. Maybe that's it.
That's too honest, simple, and direct for communication. When you get all learned up in them higher institutions, you learn you can't use a simple language like that.
Yeah.
I want tax cuts, and even if I don't have an advanced degree, if I'm elected to the state legislature, that will be one of my highest priorities. I will sponsor legislation to cut taxes.
So you're smart enough, even without an advanced degree, to understand that if you reduce taxes, you'll have more money in your pocket.
That's right.
That's
Yes,
amazing.
You know, I think, and
I
not
didn't
just
know
you, but
stupid people like us could actually figure that one out.
you just don't understand all the complex complicities and things and theories, and you just don't get it. That's your problem.
It's got to be something to do with, like, what's that kind of physics where there's not actually physics? Is quantum
No,
physics?
you're thinking metaphysics.
Metaphysics or those kind of things that you learn in those advanced degrees. Do they have secret classes that they go to screw people over in government that you learn in advanced
That's
degrees?
called Congress.
Congress. There you go. Yeah. Unbelievable. So you would say tax cuts, but the guys with the advanced degrees, they didn't even know how.
They didn't say anything when I said that. I think I caught them by surprise. The idea of cutting taxes is shocking to both the Democrats and the Republicans. To me, the reaction is as if you had shown Dracula the cross.
Unbelievable.
No!
And this is the most conservative Republican
I don't know about the
elected
most, because
in
we
the
did
state.
have Bob Beers on here recently, so.
Well, Bob Beers isn't that conservative in a lot of issues.
Well, he's.
I have to say I like Garn, though.
We got 4
All right, we're
seconds
coming up
left.
on a break.
So
We'll see when we come back and maybe take some calls.